Jake just watched the Monaco Grand Prix, the most glamorous race in the most glamorous sport, on one of the most glamorous circuits on earth. Cars worth $15 million each, driven by athletes earning $65 million a year, watched by 500 million people across the globe. And Jake has the thought that most fans have when they look at the Monaco paddock. Whoever owns these teams must be printing money, sponsors on every surface, television deals worth hundreds of millions, merchandise sold on 6 continents, and the most elite audience in professional sport, watching their products race at 350 kilometers per hour. That picture of F1 team ownership as a money printing machine is a lie. Not entirely, but significantly. And today I'm going to show you exactly how the economics of Formula One team ownership actually work. Why some owners are genuinely getting rich, and why some of the wealthiest people on earth have burned through fortunes just to stay on the grid. The cost floor that changes everything. Here's the first thing Jake needs to understand about F1: economics. Formula One introduced a cost cap in 2021, a maximum amount that teams are allowed to spend on car development and operations per year. That cap is set at $145 million. And most fans, when they hear this, think, $145 million is the maximum? It must be possible to spend less and still compete? That assumption is almost entirely wrong. In Formula One, $145 million is not a ceiling that teams are trying to stay under. It is a floor that teams are desperately trying to reach, because in the technological arms race of Formula One, spending less than the maximum means developing a slower car, and a slower car finishes lower in the championship, and finishing lower in the championship means less prize money, and less prize money makes next year's budget harder to fund. The cost cap was introduced to make Formula One more competitive, but its primary effect has been to establish $145 million as the minimum viable spend for any team that intends to win, the entry barrier that stops everyone. Here is the detail that makes Formula One the most exclusive business in professional sport. There are 10 teams on the Formula One grid, and there will not be 11 unless an existing team sells or folds, because any new team must pay $200 million as an anti-dilution payment to the existing 10 teams. Compensation for the reduced prize money that an additional team would cost, $200 million, before spending a single dollar on a car, before hiring a single engineer, before signing a single driver, before running a single test, $200 million, just for the permission to compete. And even after paying the entry fee, the new team must then build or buy the infrastructure required to compete. A Formula One factory capable of designing, building, and testing a competitive car costs between $100 million and $500 million to construct, which means that a realistic entry cost for a new Formula One team is between $300 million and $700 million before completing a single lap in anger. The prize money reality. Here's where the economics of F1 become genuinely complex, and where the difference between the top teams and the bottom teams becomes financially significant. Formula One distributes its commercial revenue, the money from television rights deals, race hosting fees, and sponsorship of the sport itself, among the 10 teams through a system called the Concorde Agreement, and that distribution is not equal. Teams that have historically performed well, Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, receive a higher percentage of the commercial revenue than teams that are newer or have performed less well. The total commercial revenue pool is approximately $1 billion per year, of which the teams receive approximately 60%, $600 million, divided among 10 teams. But not equally, Ferrari, as the sport's most historically significant team, receives a heritage bonus that guarantees them more than any other team, regardless of finishing position. A team finishing last in the Constructors' Championship receives approximately $40 million in prize money. A team finishing first receives approximately $120 million, and the team spent $145 million to do it, which means that winning the Formula One championship costs more than it pays in prize money. And the economics only work if the championship win generates enough in sponsorship premium to cover the shortfall. The sponsorship economics. Here is where the commercial logic of Formula One makes sense for the teams that can access it, and does not make sense for the teams that cannot. Ferrari earns approximately $300 million in sponsorships annually. Their car is covered in logos from companies that are paying between $5 million and $60 million each for the right to associate their brand with the most watched racing team in the most global motorsport on earth. The return on investment for a Ferrari sponsor is the 500 million people who watch every race. the social media impressions across 190 countries, the hospitality access in the Monaco paddock where a weekend in the Ferrari motorhome costs more than most cars, and the halo effect of being associated with a brand that has been synonymous with speed and excellence for 7 decades. For Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes, sponsorship revenue covers a significant portion of the cost cap spending and makes the team economics viable. For Haas, Williams, and the smaller teams, sponsorship revenue is dramatically lower, the car is less visible, the results are less impressive, and the brands that pay $60 million to appear on a Ferrari logo are not interested in appearing on a car that finishes 9th. The driver salary paradox. Here is the economic decision that defines every team's competitive strategy. Formula One, drivers at the elite level are the most expensive athletes in professional sport. Max Verstappen earns approximately $65 million per year. Lewis Hamilton approximately $50 million, Charles Leclerc approximately $45 million, and driver salaries are not included in the cost cap. They are an additional cost on top of the $145 million car and operations budget, which means a team that pays $65 million for Max Verstappen is spending $65 million before spending a single dollar on the car. And the car budget is what makes the car fast. And the car being fast is what makes Verstappen worth $65 million. The circular economics of driver salary versus car performance is one of the most fascinating financial puzzles in professional sport. And it explains why some teams choose to invest in young, cheaper drivers and car development, while others invest in proven champions at premium prices, the television and media economics. Here's the revenue stream that makes Formula One viable as a global business, even for teams that finish at the back of the grid. Formula One signed a television rights deal with various broadcasters globally that generates approximately $2 billion per year, of which the teams receive approximately $600 million through the commercial rights distribution. And since Drive to Survive launched on Netflix in 2019, Formula One's American viewership has increased approximately 40%. The Las Vegas Grand Prix, the Miami Grand Prix, the United States Grand Prix in Austin have generated hosting fees of between $50 and $60 million each, paid by the host cities to Liberty Media, who then distribute a portion back to the teams. The American market expansion has been the most significant driver of Formula One's commercial value growth in the last 6 years, and it has made the economics of team ownership more viable than they have been at any point in the sport's history. Here's what the complete economics of a midfield Formula One team look like in the 2026 season. Annual cost at the cost cap $145 million. Driver salaries outside the cap $40 million. Factory operations and infrastructure $30 million. Total annual expenditure $215 million. Revenue from prize money and commercial distribution $70 million. Sponsorship revenue $80 million. Engine supply revenue, if applicable, $20 million. Total annual revenue $170 million. Annual deficit $45 million, which the team owner must cover from personal wealth, or from finding additional sponsorship, or from achieving better championship results that increase commercial distribution. And the teams that are profitable, Ferrari, Red Bull, and to a lesser extent Mercedes, are profitable not because Formula One generates enormous margins, but because Formula One generates something more valuable than margins. It generates global brand presence at a scale that no other advertising medium can replicate. Ferrari sells 60% of its road cars at margins above standard because the Formula One brand makes Ferrari ownership aspirational, and that brand premium on 60,000 cars per year is worth significantly more than any Formula One prize money or sponsorship revenue. Formula One for Ferrari is not primarily a racing investment. It is the most expensive and most effective marketing campaign in the history of the automobile industry. Here's the bottom line about the economics of owning a Formula One team. Most teams lose money on the racing itself and make the economics viable through sponsorship, brand value, and the commercial exposure that 500 million viewers per race provides to their partners. The Monaco paddock that Jake was watching is not primarily a racing environment. It is the most exclusive hospitality and brand activation event in the global sports calendar. And the cars going around the circuit at 350 kilometers per hour are the most expensive advertising vehicles ever built. You have been decoded. If this video made you watch the next Formula One race completely differently, knowing that the team finishing last is spending more than they earn in prize money, and the team finishing first is spending even more, subscribe to Money Decoder 3004 every single week. We decode the economics of the most fascinating businesses and sports in the world. Simply, honestly, and clearly. Drop a comment below. Which Formula One team do you think has the best economics right now? And do you think the sport is good value for team investors? Tell me below. I read every single comment, and I will see you in the next decode.